Now let's finish the talk Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator by Tim Urban together. Before we tap into the new sections, let's go over the ones we worked on last week. In the introduction, we know the speaker is the blogger of Way But Why. In his blog, he wants to figure out why his behavior confuses the people who do not procrastinate. And his solutions is to do a MRI scan of the brains of the procrastinators and those of the non-procrastinators. From his MRI scans, or I should say from the drawings he showed to the audience in the talk, we can see that in the brain of the procrastinator, there is a character called rational decision maker. This character is responsible for doing the right thing. This character reminds everyone to be productive, in other words, to create good results within given time. And in the brain of the procrastinator, there are two characters, rational decision maker and the instant gratification monkey. The instant gratification monkey is responsible for doing something easy and fun. In other words, this character try his best to tell people to delay things, to work on something that makes people feel comfortable first. Then we know a bit more about how the instant gratification monkey works with the rational decision maker. Sometimes they can agree with each other because sometimes we do have easy and fun things that are important at the same time. But that's not the case for most of the time. If today someone needs to do something important but it is not fun at all, then what do people do? If you are a procrastinator, then your instant gratification monkey will guide you toward the easy and fun thing. And that area, okay, the monkey guides you to is called the dark playground. And this is where we are going to start today. Okay, where we are going to start today. Now, I would like you to go to Tron class, find the chapter time, and download the transcript Procrastinator 2. Okay, Procrastinator 2. And come back to my lecture. Okay, now we are going to start watching and learning the new parts of the talk for this week. Before we do that, let's learn two new words. The first word is called dormant. Okay, dormant means not active all the time. We usually use this word to describe volcanoes. If a volcano can still erupt, okay, then we call that a dormant volcano. Like Yangming Mountain is an example of a dormant volcano. The second word, mayhem. Mayhem means a situation with no order or control. So a synonym for mayhem will be chaos or a mess. Okay, now please follow these steps. Okay, please follow these steps. Now you have already downloaded, okay, the transcript. It should be Procrastinator 2. I will fix it later. Now I want you to start watching the talk from 6 minutes 40 seconds all the way to 10 minutes and 44 seconds. And at the same time, you need to fill in the blanks and try your best to identify the main ideas in this segment. Now please press the pause button to do these steps. When you are done, come back to my video lecture. Okay, now I assume you are done with my steps. Now let's have a look at what these sections have to offer. So let's take a look at the first paragraph together. Okay, let's take a look at the first paragraph together. So in the first paragraph, we know a bit more about what the dart playground is. So the dart playground is, according to the line here, is the place where leisure activity happens when leisure activity are not supposed to be happening. For example, next week you are about to give a presentation. So you should be working on that presentation right now. But instead, you decide to binge watching Netflix. Then you are in the dark playground because you are doing something that you are not supposed to do. So based on the talk, this kind of pleasure or fun is unearned. It means you do not deserve it. And when you do them, you actually feel guilt. Okay, you feel guilty about doing this, and you have anxiety. Okay, and you have anxiety. So this is what the dark playground is all about. And then, do we have any solutions to pull people out from the dark playground? Yes, we do. We have a guardian angel called the panic monster. And the panic monster is dormant most of the time. So what does dormant mean? It means it is not active, okay, mostly. But he only shows up at any time when a deadline is coming. Okay, so for example, tomorrow you're about to turn in a report, then your panic monster will show up to remind you to start taking actions. Okay, so other occasions when the panic monster might show up might be when you experience a public embarrassment, a career disaster, or some other scary consequences. Okay, some other scary consequences. So this is the new character for today, the panic monster. And then the speaker uses his experience of being invited to do a TED Talk this time to explain how all the characters works. So in the beginning, okay, he was invited to do this talk. So the rational decision maker will show up to ask him some reasonable questions to make sure everything is okay. So questions like, are we clear on what we just accepted? Can we do this? Do we get what's going to be now happening one day in the future? We need to sit down and word this right now. So you see the keyword right now. Rational decision maker is not about procrastination. It's about productivity. And on the other hand, the monkey will say, okay, I agree with you, but now we can do something fun. Okay, let's open Google Earth and zoom into the bottom of India, like 200 feet above the ground, and scroll up for 2.5 hours till we get to the top of the country, so we can get a better feel for India. So this is completely irrelevant to the preparation of the talk. And from this example, we can also guess where this talk took place. Probably India. Okay, probably India. So between these, in the interaction between these two characters, okay, we can tell that in the mind, okay, of a procrastinator, it is a total chaos, a mayhem, okay, a mayhem. And when the deadline is approaching, who will show up? The panic monster will show up. Okay, the panic monster will show up and explains all kinds of pretty crazy procrastinator behavior, okay, that the instant gratification monkey asks people to do, and finally get the person back to the right track. Okay, get the person back to the right track. Okay, so now we know the new character, the panic monster, and also what the dark playground is, and the speaker also uses his experience of preparing this TED Talk to explain the character's functions even more clearly. So in the end, he also got a lot of responses from different people, from different walks of life, including nurses, bankers, painters, and lots of PhD students. And they all expressed the same feelings. They encounter this problem too, the problem of procrastination. And from these responses, he saw a contrast between the light tone of the post and the heaviness of these emails, which means people, when they write, they can joke about their problems, but actually, this is a big problem that troubled them deeply. So this leads him to the questions that why are all those people why are all of these people in such a dark place? Why? Why do people all have this problem? Why do people procrastinate? Okay? So this is what the main ideas are in this section.